Okay, everyone, welcome. We are so excited for tonight. We got a special guest speaker as well, which is so excited to hear from you, Caitlin. But tonight's going to be awesome to connect. It's so great being able to do this every couple of weeks. We get to see some new faces each time, which is really fun. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Alyssa. You're all here because of me. Just kidding. Just joking. You're pretty much here because of Britt. She's the only reason. Yeah. But no, it's just so awesome to be able to see all your guys' faces and to connect tonight. And today, this morning, I was on a Zoom with one of our corporate leaders, one of our new girls, and she just shared so many amazing, exciting things. And then also I've been a part of a mastermind that we're going to be able to access going into April. And I want to talk to you guys about that too, especially if you're nervous about signing your own distributors and training your own distributors. This is just going to be a huge confidence boost for you. So a little bit later, I'm going to talk about all those things. But to kick us off tonight, I'm going to let Britt and Caitlin step in. Caitlin's relatively new to the business, so I cannot wait to hear from you. But Britt blows you up in my chat all the time, talking about how incredible you are. So I'm going to mute and let you guys take it away.
Awesome. I am so excited. Hi, everybody. I really wanted to bring all of you on, really, like individually bring you on and hear why you started. I feel like it's just so encouraging to hear other people's testimonies. So I hope you're encouraged by Caitlin. She's literally just over her 30-day mark. She started, I think it was the 16th of February, and she's already just brought, like, you're going to love her. You're going to want her to lead all the Zooms and want us to get off of them. Like, she is such a light. She's so encouraging, and I love hearing from her. I love hearing about her life. I love hearing about her business. So I just wanted to share it with you. That's basically why we have her on tonight. If you have any extra questions for her, feel free to put them in the chat and we can do that at the end. But I'm just going to kind of go like interview style, back and forth. It's super casual. So thanks, Caitlin, for hopping on. I am so excited to hear from you.
Can you guys hear me? I have my headphones on, so hopefully you don't hear Maverick. We'll see. We've got one asleep. We've got one almost asleep, but not yet.
I love it. No, we can hear you. That's perfect.
Say hi.
Hi, Mav. Okay, so to kick us off, I would love to hear when you got started and what caused you to get started in this business.
So I officially said yes on February 16th, and I had been watching Britt. Her and I go way back, but like randomly, but in the dance world. So I had been watching her for many, many years, and I actually reached out to her 2 years to the day before, 2 years to the day. So February 16th, 2020 it would have been. And then it was just so funny that I got that like little Facebook reminder that day after I actually said yes and signed up. So yeah, it's been just over my 1 month mark. And can you go sit down, Bubbles? Yeah, okay, thank you. Do you want to take this too? You're good? Okay. So it's been just over my 1 month mark, and yeah, I've just been watching for so long and just kind of, I don't know, spying and creeping in and just always like second guessing myself and like, no, I could never do that. I could never do that. And at the time I ran our own dance studio, and I'm a certified ballet teacher and all the things. And then I had Maverick, and then we ended up having our second child. And yeah, life was just at the time I thought was too crazy. But I was always so envious and just like, honestly, like so always inspired and in awe. So I would always spy and creep and see what was going on in your life.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And for those of you who don't know, Caitlin actually lives in the same town as me now, which is crazy because we were both in BC. We knew kind of each other, and we did a show together, but like didn't know each other. So when she moved to Sylvan, we just wanted to get together because we knew each other basically through social media, but a little bit through
But it felt like we also knew each other, like knew each other.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like I was like, how have we not actually like fully met?
Yeah. And I love that. I feel like that's the coolest thing about social media too, right? Because you get to know people. So if you feel like no one's watching your stuff, because I didn't know that Caitlin was watching anything that I was doing, somebody is watching you. And if you're lucky, it'll be someone as awesome as Caitlin. I did the same thing to Alyssa. I stalked her for so freaking long and was just like, I know that I could be friends with this girl. Like, let's do it. And now she's my best friend. So yeah, I love that about that business. I love that about this business. And I love that you brought that up.
What's that? Okay.
She's like the queen of multitasking, you guys. This chick is literally insane. She's like, oh, I didn't sleep all night and this and this and this happened, but I'm signing a customer right now and I have a question. Like, so inspired by you. Okay, let's keep going. So what are you working towards right now? Like, what is your goal?
So right now I'm really focusing on the 4-in-1. I feel like that's just the best package and achievable for me. So I'm sitting down, I'm focusing on the task list, and was it yesterday when we did the task list together, I got so much just traction and engagement from so many host to post, and I've literally, like today alone, signed up 3 loyal customers just off of one host to post, and it's just been so, it just like goes to show that when you actually when you actually put the work in and when you actually sit down and focus on something, that it can just happen. So I'm really, really focusing on that because I feel like that just, obviously you get the commissions off of it, but then you also kind of just attract those bonuses a little bit more. And for me, that's my goal right now.
Yeah, I love that. The great thing is, like, Caitlin is somebody who doesn't overcomplicate things as much as she probably wants to. So I wanted to point that out too, because even though she has all those things when you first get started, like being nervous about posting, being nervous about making the stories, being nervous about sending out the messages, she keeps it really simple. And I think that's a testimony, obviously to her, but to the system too. Like, all of you have been here long enough to know that when you do the task, you see the results. And when you don't do the task, you don't see the results. And it's easy to overthink it and be like, does this really work? Is this? But she just keeps it so simple. She's like, okay, we're going to do this. I don't know why you're getting me to do this or how this is going to work, but I'm just going to do it. And she does it so willingly and with such a good mindset that, like she just said, she signed 3 loyal customers in one day because of it. So I think that's so awesome. So right now in your business, you're excited, you're starting, you're literally like just over 30 days in. So let's talk, like, what are you excited about right now? And why do you prioritize working this business every single day?
Oh, sorry, give me one.
I love it.
Okay. Okay. What? Your babies too? Okay. You got all the things now? Are you good? Okay. Okay.
You're awesome.
Sorry, what was the question?
So you're brand new in this business. You are literally like just over a month in. Like, what gets you excited and why are you prioritizing working every single day? Like, you're busy, you're a mom. We know you have one kiddo, but you have another kiddo there too that's even littler. Like, how are you navigating all of it?
Okay, so at first, long story short, owned a dance studio in BC. Due to COVID, ended up closing our dance studio. We are lost. Like, life was just in shambles. So we moved out here. So originally when I first started, I was just craving that sense of like community. And I think being a dance teacher, basically my whole life, I felt like I had such like a mentorship role in students' lives and in families' lives. And I felt like I was just a really big inspiration, almost, not to like, I don't know. I just felt like I was a really big part of kids' lives and I was a positive person and a positive mentor for them. So I was kind of really, for the past 2 years, I've been missing that feeling. So that was the biggest thing for me. And then I'm just trying to like just navigate that and like try and redirect that energy into a different thing. So that's kind of what first attracted me, but then obviously like I'm really big into health and wellness and health and fitness. So then the products just speak for themselves. But then I kind of started, obviously when we first moved out here, we had this game plan and then life happened and things have shifted. So now just knowing like the compensation plan and knowing how how achievable it is to follow that task list and get to those bonuses and get to those commissions. And like, it's not, like Britt was saying, like, it's not overly complicated. It's just, you literally just, you have to sit down, plug in for an hour, maybe two, and just get it done. And then for me, what I've noticed too, just because I find working around the kids can be very distracting. But that's my biggest thing. Like my husband, Ryan, and I, we've been talking back and forth and we're like, hey, what are we going to do? Like, am I going to be going back to work? Am I doing this? Are you doing that? Like, should I get a serving job? And every single thing that I think of doing requires me to leave the house. And I'm like, no, no, sorry, no. I'm not putting the kids in daycare. I'm not doing this. I'm not missing out on this. Like literally today, Dominic, he's 7 months old. He does like the army crawl, and I was making dinner, and then all of a sudden he was on his hands and knees just crawling. And I was like, oh my God. And if I was working or if I was serving, or like obviously there's so many other situations and to each their own, but for me, like that's such a huge, like I'm so grateful that I can be home and like be around for all of those milestones. So that's kind of where, like, that's my why. That's like, I am doing this because I want to be home for my kids. I want to be able to support my family. I want to be able to just help with that extra little income and be there for literally every step of the way of their lives, in a positive, healthy way.
And you're doing it. That's the best part is you want to, you have the game plan, but you're putting in the work that makes the plan possible and seeing the results from it. And that's why I really wanted to have you on this Zoom, because I feel like that's so inspiring. And you're in the business long enough already now to know that there are objections, to know that you're going to run into different situations, yet you still show up every day going, okay, I have no idea how to handle that, but we're going to like cross that bridge when we get there and keep moving. And you just, yeah, you have so much ease and confidence in everything that you do. So I'm so inspired by you. For all of those, like obviously I don't even have a kiddo yet. And I'm like, oh, some days I feel like just fly by and I have no idea what happened. So for all of you that are already moms, I'm sure you want to hear from a mom who's like in the thick of it, not just running a business. She was a business owner before this. She has the skill set, she has the mindset, she's doing all the things, but like, what are some practical tools that you do every single day so that you're able to work this business around your kids, around whatever you have planned? Like, do you work it in chunks? Do you like to just sit down? Is it a nap time thing? Is it a baby's crawling all over you and you're doing it anyways? Like, tell us how you make it possible.
So I think first, just sitting down at the beginning of the day for me, I'm an early riser. So sitting down at the beginning and just like actually planning my day out, not doing the work yet, but saying, okay, today I got to do this, 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 and this. And then I can just actually like sit down, whether it's 10 p.m. at night and I haven't gotten them all done yet, or it's 4 p.m. or noon and I've already done it. I can visually see what I actually need to accomplish that day and check it off. I'm very visual that way. So that's a huge thing, just because I know if it's written down, it'll get done. And then, yeah, so first thing normally I do, or I try and tackle the task list and try and do that in one chunk, because it's something that I can do kind of around the kids eating breakfast. I can have my coffee. Mavs can be having his cereal. Dom can be crawling and doing his little activities for the morning. And it's still something I can do while they're awake and still present. And then, yeah, after that, I kind of just go with the flow. So if I really try not to overcomplicate it, because then I get super scrazzled and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this. I have 10 messages I have to get back to, and I have to make dinner, and oh my gosh, I have to change a diaper. And I just like, if I think that way, then things get squirrely really, really fast. So, I just kind of just take it in, and basically if I have the time to respond to a message, I'll just respond to it right then and there. And I think I got that from owning the studio, which was good and which was bad, because our clients then started realizing like, oh, they respond to emails at midnight. That's awesome. And then when we stopped responding to emails at midnight, they're like, where are you? Why aren't you answering me? But anyway, so for me though, that works really, really well, because I just get it done. So when it comes in, I blast it out. Or if they come in and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the 3 loyal customers that I signed today are actually all from Australia. because I'm Australian as well. And so I have one of my long time best friends, her mom got the cleanse from us last month. And I just got her to do a host to post for me. And that's where I got so many inquiries and so many conversations started. So for that, it was kind of good because of the time change. So they're 16 hours ahead of us. So I was able to get them information, start conversations, and then when the time, like it gave them time to respond and it gave me time to respond as well. So it wasn't like all together at once. Whereas then I have a couple others that I was in conversations with today, and I felt like there were so many coming in all at the same time, but just it was easy for me to just respond as they were coming in. Otherwise, it was overwhelming to look at a message and be like, oh my gosh, there's 10 responses. I have to get all of this done. Whereas if it's just a smaller amount of messages, it was more achievable for me to do. So it all changes though, always.
It's a day by day thing.
Yeah.
I love that, but that's a system that works for you. And I think that that's why it's so perfect that you're explaining it so well, is because that's the business that we're in, right? Like we get to work this business around our schedules, around our lives, the way that works best for us. But I think your mindset of it has to get done, it's not a negotiable, makes it, like you said, less complicated, because even though your day might have just like fully derailed itself, you have people in your inbox, and when you have time, you're going to message them back. And for you, if that's right away, that's perfect. If you have to wait, that's perfect too. So that's so good. Okay, last question. I didn't give this to you before, but I was just thinking about it when you were talking. I feel like with you, your mindset is so awesome, because I feel like you're already a very solution-minded person in general, right? Like I have never heard you complain about anything. I have never heard you be like, Britt, host to post isn't working, or hey, I like nobody is being added to my network. You're like, okay, I'm trying this and I'm not really seeing the results. Like, is there a different way to do that? And I just love that about you. And I think that that is something that I always strive to do, is like try to find the solution, not just focus on the problem. Is there something that you do daily to like grow your mindset and have that positive mindset, even when life is like, you know, absolutely crazy? Is there something you do specifically, or is it just a decision that you make every single day?
I think it's just a decision. Like I really always just try and see the positive in things. And like I was trying to grow my network, because so much of my network are our old dance clients or old dance families. And there's just some mixed relationships in that. So I was like, I need to expand my network. I need to grow this in some aspect, some way or another. So I made a post for our giveaway this month. And Britt and I were talking about this because I was like, this is going to be so great, because you know how like actual, like I'm definitely not an influencer, but like actual influencers are like, okay, follow this page and swipe to like and share my story and blah, 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 blah. So I did that myself. And I was like, just share this as your story. And I literally got no comments. I got like 12 likes. And I was like, what the heck? I totally thought this would work. And so I wasn't necessarily discouraged. I was just like confused. But then I was like, whatever. And I think more or less it's just like trying to find the things that work for your network that you already have. And this host to post I made for that my friend's mom made for me in Australia literally just blew up. And I think that's at moments I get discouraged, mainly when people respond back to a message or on a host to post or make a comment and like, oh, I'm not into this sneaky sales tactic, or I'm not into MLMs, or I'm not into this. Instantly, I get like anxious and nervous, and I just don't respond. But now I'm getting more confident being like, yeah, can I answer any questions for you? Or yeah, how can I help you? Are you interested? And so I think that just like always kill them with kindness. I think my parents kind of just instilled that in me growing up, and just always trying to find the positive in every aspect of life. And for me, just knowing that I'm doing this because I don't want to have to go work a regular 9 to 5, that's not an option for me. I'm not into that whatsoever. I want to be home for the kids, so I need to make this work in some way, shape, or form. So just having that positive outlook, and not knowing that like this isn't for everybody. this business isn't for everybody. These products aren't for everybody. And I think a big thing too is that a lot of people are so skeptical and jealous of what they don't know. And then when you actually give them the information, they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they kind of have more, they're happier and they want to talk to you more. But if they don't know what's going on, they're like, you're a scam artist, bye. I'm like, okay, let me just share some love. And then, yeah, I don't know. So I just think that just being happy, go lucky, and that's kind of always worked for me. And it's the way I live my life. So it just kind of bleeds into every aspect. So yeah.
That is such good advice. I think that you couldn't have said that any better if you tried. It is so true that people definitely get weird and jealous of things they don't even know. And yeah, you do get to be that person. And I think sometimes it's hard to be that person because, like you said, you get nervous and you're like, what the heck is happening? But you're stepping into it and doing it anyways, which then is creating more confidence, which I think is something that all of us are like, oh yeah, I totally know what you're talking about. So thank you for sharing with us. Is there anything else that you like, want to share with us? A tip, something that's working, anything? Or are we good? I asked you a million questions, so don't feel pressured to share anything else. But
I'm trying to think of things. Honestly, like this past week has just been such a gong show in so many aspects. As you can see, he's like dead asleep on the couch.
Ragdoll.
Life has been like this for a week.
Yeah.
So I think just something too that I'm just more or less just grateful for this business is that if you put the work in, you're going to see the results. You're going to get the commissions, you're going to get the customers, you're going to get things flowing. But there's also that there's so much to say for if you're having an off day, let yourself have that off day. If you're having an off week, don't get sucked into that, because then quite quickly you can be like, oh, I'm done, I'm over this. But I found like just the past like 4 or 5 days, I was not picking up. I just needed that accountability, and I wasn't doing all the tasks. I was doing maybe 1 or 2, and I felt I was just like kind of in a rut for 2 seconds, not with the business, but just in other parts of our lives for a moment. And then I just had coffee with Britt yesterday, and we just banged out that task list. And then immediately I just felt so much better. And I felt so much more excited, and I just felt so grateful. But then also knowing that obviously moments can come up in life. You can be busy, you can be feeling sick, you can have this, you can have that. And just being aware that your business is still there for you, just not to let it fall off the bandwagon. So being consistent but also listening to your body in so many ways as well. So that's really good. Because if you're in a bad mindset and you're trying to make a story, I literally tried to make a story and I was in such a shitty mood. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I made a story and I deleted it 16 times because I was like, nope, no one wants to hear me. I'm mad at myself. I'm not doing this. But yeah, so I think just listen to your body, and that's something that's worked for me. And then when you're happy, people are more attracted to you anyways. So yeah.
that is such good advice. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. I was just so excited. I was like talking to Alyssa, and I was like, she just brings so much light to literally everybody, and is killing it in her business and is killing it in her life. Like, we need to have this girl on a Zoom. So thank you for coming on here. We appreciate you so much. And I feel like this kind of pairs perfectly with everything Alyssa's going to talk about. So Alyssa, take it away. I cannot wait to hear everything.
It really does. Like,
yeah,
you're talking and I'm like, well, I was going to talk about that. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that. This is crazy. But like Caitlin started off with, you guys, how cool is it to be in an industry that costed you next to nothing to get started in, and you have unlimited potential, and you can work it from absolutely anywhere with your ragdoll son hanging, with dancing, with being pregnant, with working multiple jobs, maybe whatever the case is. And that was what attracted me to the business 5.5 almost years ago is I was busy working the 2 full-time jobs and it wasn't enough. And I needed to have something that didn't have a ceiling. And I think that's the coolest thing about this business, that if you have the drive and the willingness to push through and you have that vision that you're working towards, and on those days that suck, you know what you're still working towards. That is like my favorite thing about this entire industry. And so this morning I was on the Zoom with Meredith and she just got me so stinking excited. First of all, corporate is going through this whole big change where they're bringing in so many new field development leaders, and basically literally every section of the US and Canada is getting kind of a new go-to person, which has been really cool. We've never done that before. And it's just allowing them to really talk to people that are working in the field and giving us things that we need. And that's exciting for me because I've been in the business for 5.5 years and I've seen the ups and downs of it, and I've experienced the ups and downs of it. And Britt and I will talk and be like, why don't we have this? Why can't we have this? And now being in this meeting this morning, it's like they've heard like what all of us are talking about, and these huge things are coming. And it just made me so excited. And she was meeting, and it kind of trickles up to who our CEO is, right? Like, if you don't know who Mark Pentecost is, our CEO, you guys take the time to log into your Connect app and just watch the 30-minute video so you can get to know him, because he's like an adopted dad, and you'll just absolutely love him and just realize his heart for serving us as not his employees, but a part of his team. And he was telling Meredith, so he started out as a teacher, just as a basketball coach and a math teacher, making like next to no dollars. He got started in network marketing, decided to figure out how to start his own company, and then It Works was born 20 years ago. And I guess over 20 years ago now. And he was just telling her, I've made more money than I know what to do with, like more than I'll ever be able to spend. So my family and my kids are set for life. He's like, but that's not the legacy I'm interested in. The legacy I'm interested in leaving is helping thousands of others be able to do the same for their families. And you don't get to hear that a lot from other MLM businesses where they care about you that much. It's what kind of car is your CEO driving? What kind of house are they living in? And it's all about them making as much money as possible. Whereas you really see when they rolled out the 4-in-1 and the bonuses attached to the 4-in-1 and all the things, and really simplifying. And if you weren't here before that, you don't realize how difficult it was to make that kind of money. We really, really are so blessed to be a part of this business, and also just seeing it progress over the last 5 years of the products that we have. You guys, we have one of the top, or all of the top consumable products globally at our fingertips. And this industry, the health and wellness industry, with the supplements that we sell, you guys, in moments where you feel like nobody wants this, nobody can afford this, the stuff is so expensive, that's an issue with your mindset, because this is a $151.9 billion industry every year. That's what they make in sales, selling supplements, like not just our company, but other companies. So people are buying and people will buy. And it's up to us to put that opportunity in front of our people, right? That's the only way that you're going to make those sales, instead of having those moments where you feel discouraged because somebody said no. And we're going to talk a little bit about discouragement too, because it's a huge part of this business. I think a lot of us go through life feeling kind of hurt when someone says no to us in general. So we somehow forgot about like life prior to this business, how we'd have these same conversations with people and be like, no, you're dumb, like whatever. And it would affect us differently. And then here we're like, but nobody said this to me before. And like, you just want to hide in a hole. That's just not the case. It's just a part of life. And we just kind of have to remember that. But another cool thing that she said is that our company is actually #1 in all of network marketing companies for recruiting new distributors and recruiting customers. And a ton of people are coming from other companies into ours because of our systems. They're incredible. The 4-in-1 is a game changer. Our bonuses are incredible. The payouts, the percentages, absolutely everything. And sometimes you get a little spoiled, especially if you didn't come from another network marketing company or another team where you're in moments where it's like, this sucks, but you can go over and be like, whoa, okay, never mind. That was actually amazing. So for her to come from working with Roden and Fields, Monate, Tupperware, like multiple places, she's been in the industry for 20 years. And she's telling you that, and she's telling us that this morning. And I was honestly just blown away, because it is so normal for us to get into ruts. And then you get into a circle, and this is so important. And Caitlin talked about it. She felt like she was in a rut, connected with Britt. All of a sudden she's out of it. This is where it's so important to connect on these Zooms and to connect with your leaders and other people in the business who, when you're in a rut, you're not just, and I'm like bouncing around in my notes because I'm just like thinking out loud now. But when you're in those ruts, it's so important to not surround yourself with people who are also in a rut, where it's so easy to be like, I'm failing at this, I suck at that. And it's like, yeah, I suck at that too. Like, this is so hard. And then you get absolutely nowhere. Whereas if you put yourself, like Caitlin did with Britt, where Britt's like, I'm coming over with the KPI list and we're doing this, it completely changes the game for you, right? You have to find people who are pulling you out of the bucket instead of keeping you down. And sometimes we're the worst at keeping ourselves down. I know for myself, when I'm going through things, I don't like talking to people about it. Britt has to rip it out of me. But you can keep yourself down just as much as other people can too. And another thing, I don't know if I want to cover this because it kind of just bounces around, but she just talked about in this business how important retention is. You know, we work hard to get our sales, and we sign those people for the 3 months, and it's awesome. It's like, I got to replace them, they're gone, and that's normal. But also at the same time, it comes down to your customer experience, because we're kind of, you don't want to connect necessarily our customers to customer service. It's not the greatest place because that's also going through so many changes. But you get to be the professional in this situation. These people signed with you, so take care of them. And she talked about how when you have somebody, it's like having a nail tech. If you've ever had a nail tech and they do an amazing job, or a hairdresser, right? They do an amazing job on you. You're willing to pay the extra because you know you're going to walk away happy, and you're going to keep coming back every single month or however long it is before you get your fill or you get your hair dyed again. You're going to keep going back to that person. And if they're not there, you're probably going to stop going, and then you're going to have to find a new person and all the things. So when you take care of your people and they're getting the results because you're taking care of them, we have products that work, you guys. And if you're talking to your clientele and making sure that they're staying consistent and you're checking in on them continuously, it's a game changer with your business, because once they start seeing those results and realizing it's coming from the products and you're always in their ear, they go way past the 3 months. And I've just made it a priority in my notebook where I highlight every single time I sign a customer. So it's kind of my follow-up book. I'm checking in with them for sure every 2 weeks consistently. I don't care how long they've been with me for, as long as they're ordering product, I'm checking in with them constantly. And they've gone way past the 3 months. Like every single customer I've signed in the last 6 months, I think I've had 2 people turn off their auto ships. It's a game changer when you take care of your people and you take the ownership, and it's not sign for 3 months. I hope you don't turn off your auto ship, but I love you. Thanks for signing. Bye. Like, don't be that person. I know it's easy to be that person, but it will, I promise you, help with your retention. But kind of jumping back into, I don't know if I even want to go over trials anymore. I feel like Caitlin did such a good job talking about it. I'm like, I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, where am I? But no. Something that really, really helps, just thinking about if you guys are going through that, because it's so normal. And one thing Meredith said that is, if you're not going through trials consistently, then you're not growing, because that's just a part of growing pains. That means you're having more conversations, or maybe it means you're not having enough conversations and you're realizing you have to have some more conversations because you're not enrolling anything. It's just a point where you need to be so self-aware in assessing your business, what you can do better. And she said that's the thing at the end of the day in this business, wherever you're feeling like off and whatever, just ask yourself, what can I do better? How can I serve my people more? How can I get into more conversations? And once you start doing that, you start reclaiming that territory. And she said, it's so easy for us to feel like failures in the moment, where maybe you didn't sign 3 customers today, or you didn't do X, Y, and Z. But you need to remember the wins that you had behind you and how you got those wins. And those are automatically going to boost you up. It's going to be like, okay, yeah, I've signed a customer, I've signed distributors, I can do this, I've been consistent. And you start bringing yourself out again, and you just figure out what's going to work for you, like Caitlin did. Like, maybe you have that list in front of you that you check off every single day. Maybe you're connecting with your leader saying, look, I'm in a rut right now. I need somebody to connect with me every single day because I'm just not getting my work done. Or maybe I just need those moments of encouragement where please just like, whatever it is for you, everybody has a different love language. You know, if you know anything about love languages, some people need affirmation, whatever the case is, maybe you're that person. Just figure out what it is that you need that helps you get out of those ruts and those moments. And you just move forward and you just reclaim the day, and you think about what it is you're speaking to yourself, because they always, the Bible says, death and life is in the power of the tongue. And it is so true. If you're going to speak negatively about your business, I promise you it's going down the toilet, because that's where your mindset is. And wherever your mindset is, your business is going to follow, your life is going to follow, whatever the case is. But if you're speaking life over it, it's like, you know what? I didn't sign customers, but I know it's because I didn't do host to post, or because I know I didn't follow up with those people, or I was too scared to get a no, so I didn't get back to that person. Whatever the case is, you guys, when you just start assessing from not such taking things personally, but as a business owner, things will start to shift in your business. So just take ownership of that. And also, don't overcomplicate. Again, Caitlin talked about this. You guys, we get paid to do 2 things in this business, and it's to offer the opportunity and offer products. That's literally it. We don't get paid to make a fun reel. We don't get paid. It brings people in, and you get to be creative and have people get to know you in those things. But that's all we have to do. So if you're doing things and figuring out things to bring in those conversations, that is what this business is all about. And we do it in 3 different ways. We do it on social media. Like I just said, we do it not as much as we used to, but in-person coffee, one-on-one with somebody, answering their questions, jumping on the phone. I used to jump on the phone all the time with people. I don't know why I steered away from it. I think I need to get back into it after listening to her talk about it today. But this business, she just said, and it's so true, this business is all about energy and what you're bringing forward. And oftentimes people on social media, if you're leaving it just to social media, people aren't necessarily getting that energy. They're not getting that one-on-one excitement where they get to see how excited you are about the business. On social media, they get to see what you're interested in. They get to see your consistency or lack of. If you're not consistent, they're probably not going to join you. If they join you, they're probably going to be inconsistent, you know? So it's a great place for them to get to know you, but they don't necessarily get to know about the business. And she was just saying a habit she got into when she was working in the field a few years ago before coming to corporate was when she had people consistently watching her stories or liking her things, instead of sending like a little message to them, she always voice memoed them and was like, hey, I see you're liking my stuff all the time. Like, why have we not talked about you making an extra income from social media? And that's all she said. Or like, I know you're liking my things all the time. I'm curious, did you want more information about my business? And she kept it so simple, just in a voice memo, because I know like if we get voice memos from random people and they're like super long, we don't want to click on them because it's like, oh, what is this going to be about? But if it's short and sweet and you guys voice memos, it relays that energy, right? Like if you message a person and say, hey, I saw you saw my post, want to join my team? Like you read it like in the tone that you want to take it in. But if someone is sending you a message, there's no room for them to read into it and be like, they just want me, like whatever. There's a true connection there. And I know there's many distributors who have come and gone and are still here that have joined the business purely because I sent voice memos back in the day. And I used to do it all the time. And again, I got to get back. She's just talking voice today. And I'm like, why am I not doing this anymore? But it is just something that's so easy to do. And it allows you to be so genuine with your people. And then guide it into a phone conversation if you can. Set up those moments where you can connect one-on-one. And I know a lot of people freak out about it, but the one thing about connecting on the phone that's amazing is you get to get back and forth in a real conversation. And it's so important to give like the bare minimum. You guys, it's so easy to word vomit, or it's like, yeah, we build through host to post and all you have to do is send these messages of like, and it overwhelms people. But whereas you just keep it simple, where it's like, yeah, we make commissions, we build our team, we offer the opportunity, and we sell products. That's how we make an income. Do you have any questions for me, kind of thing? And you're going to get into that true conversation with somebody. And from there, it's training step by step. It's so, so simple. And I'm sure you guys realize how simple this business is once you get rolling in it. A little overwhelming when you get started, lots to learn like anything new, but just start figuring out how you can connect better with your audience one-on-one. And I promise you, instead of trying to bring in the masses and you narrow it down to connecting with, your goal is to connect with one person a day, I promise your volume is going to go up and your distributor signing is going to go up because people are going to feel that. I don't want to, I feel like I'm talking for so long and I have so many notes that I'm not going to go through. But something I do want to talk to you guys really quickly about that's coming for April 1st is new distributor training. It's going to be super, super basic, but this is to help you guys save a lot of time in training your newbies on the really simple things. Like you might have people who don't know how to post a story. They don't know the importance of self-development, like we just talked about, because that's freaking mindset and we need it so much. But Monday to Saturday, what's going to be available to you for you and your new team members? Again, I encourage you to jump on the first through that first week so you can see what's going to be offered. But every single day, there's going to be 2 options, a morning Zoom and an evening Zoom. They're 30 minutes max for your newbies. So you're going to get them plugged in as soon as they get started. And this is going to be, again, it's so great for you, especially when you're kind of new to the business and you don't necessarily know all the things. They essentially are going to cover KPI training in that. So again, very bare minimum. It's not going to be, this is the scripts and all the things, but more so explaining. So Monday nights are going to be for self-development and success stories. You're going to hear from the leaders who are speaking. I'm going to be in a couple of them in April, so that's going to be fun. Then Tuesday is going to be all training on host to post. Wednesday is going to be training on social media. So, those people who don't know how to post to a story and don't know how to add music and like, what's the purpose of posting? That's going to be that night. Thursdays are going to be messenger parties. Messenger parties have been blowing up for people, which has been really cool. So if someone does a host a post for you and it blew up, then you can ask them to do a messenger party where they're inviting people into a chat and you take over the chat with all the scripts and things which we have available to you. And a lot of people are signing a lot of customers. It's almost like an in-home party, but in the chat, which is kind of cool. And then Friday and Saturdays are going to be opportunity events. So the goal for this is that your newbies are going to sign their first round of 4-in-1 by their first week. And they're just going to get into that rhythm and they're going to feel the wins, because all of us know once you start feeling those wins, it gets a little addictive. You start digging in and you actually want to work the business. Those wins are absolutely everything. So it's going to be an exciting month for April. So all of that's coming. I'm going to make sure to have that schedule up and going. This is with a ton of leaders, Ambassador Diamonds all the way down to me, but it's going to be just a ton of fun. So hype that up with your new people, make sure to get them plugged in. Not an excuse to not train them and do the things with them, but just another resource for you guys to build those strong businesses. And one thing that I loved about what she said, speaking of that, was a lot of us focus, we'll sign a new DT and we get so excited and we kind of forget to continue building our business. It's like, okay, new DT, this is what you're going to do. We're just going to babysit you all day, that you're kind of like, you're avoiding your KPI. She said one thing that she always has done in this business is, okay, new person, you signed up. This is the 4-in-1. This is how you're going to do it. We're going to connect you into this group. I'm going to let you run with this. I'm here for you every single step of the way, but I'm going to continue to build my business. Because one thing about this business is, again, people come and go. People join for different reasons. You might be here long-term. You might be here short-term. Nobody knows. So you never want to put all your eggs kind of in one basket where you're depending so much on someone else's success. You just focus on you, continue to grow, continue to bring in those team members, and we're going to try make that as seamless and easy as possible for you guys once you start bringing those people in. So yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight, you guys. Thank you for hopping on. Caitlin, thank you for sharing your story. It was amazing. I feel like I could have just talked and heard your story all night. You were just so awesome. You're definitely going to just take over a Zoom one of these days. But again, thank you, ladies, for hopping on tonight. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to drop in my inbox or in the team chat or whatever. But we'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.